Hey fans, Anthony from HashesNet here. And back in the 80s and decades before, magazines used to be sold door to door. So back then, my grandmother would buy issues of usually the Reader's Digest and TV Guide. And sometimes they would do deals where you would get additional subscriptions for a low price. So on multiple occasions, she would get me a subscription to some magazine, Highlights, Looney Tunes, Ninja Turtles, and my favorite subscription, Zoobooks. And this book was the book I wanted. I never got it in the first subscription. I had to subscribe much later to even get this book. And what we're going to see today is my entire collection. Is it all the books in the series? No. But keep in mind my original age. I was like 10 years old. I was excited to get one of these every month. So let's take a look. So I figured I'd order them by release date. And based on what I can see, I was 11 years old when I got this first issue here. And then I went off and purchased the second subscription for myself just so I can get the Dinosaur one finally about 8 years later. So I was about 17, 18 years old at the time. So the first run, I'll have the general same font, this old style Zoobooks font, but all of them have the same basic information. Although on the back, this one, actually all of them, for the exception of the Dinosaur one, I think, actually tells you when it's from. And in this case, this one says 86. I think afterwards they actually say when they're released month-wise. I think this was the Dinosaur version of this series where you got this for subscribing. I'm not quite sure why I thought I would get a Dinosaur, but I also remember when I subscribed, I also got a tiger poster, which I will show somewhere up here, which is hanging over the wall in my childhood bedroom. Anyway, so it goes through basic elephants here. Asiatic female, 5 years old, or Asiatic male, African male, and gives you like some pretty decent color photos of their musculature, their skeletons, the type of feet. It gives you a bunch of nifty facts. There's maybe 15 pages total. I didn't realize there was water damage. So then it also shows you some earlier mammoths in pre-elephant forms and so on, and then gives you a full spread here. So yeah, pretty straightforward, and it's pretty consistent throughout the books where they gives you a little bit of history about humans' interactions with these animals, and of course the type of food they eat. Every year, the average elephant eats 100,000 pounds of hay. Let's see, 12,000 pounds of dried alfalfa and adds some flavor to the hay. Minerals and salts are blended into more than 15,000 gallons of mixed grains. 3,000 cabbages, apples, carrots, and other vegetables are provided as treats. And then they love bread. 1,600 loaves a year. I don't know what zoo these people are at, but they're feeding these elephants really, really well. And then it shows, and this is no longer accurate, where they are located. I think it says 1.3 million elephants in Africa and 25,000 in Asia. I think we're way closer to an endangered species than this book has listed in here. So then here we got geese, and we skimmed through this, and it talks about its predators and how they come down from Canada. If you live in the United States, you know. Like, they are jerks to the ducks that are native here. Continuing on, we got lions. And I should mention that this being the first monthly subscription, this says March 1989. And some of the coloring for these outward covers make the color of the font difficult to read. Anyway, lions, shows pictures of lions, of course. All that fun stuff. I think there is a map in here about their regions, too. Let's see. I can't remember. It's been a while. Because yeah, here it is. So Africa, a little bit of Asia, Europe, South America, North America. Yeah, and it's saying that the last North American lion probably died about 10,000 years ago. So about around the Ice Age. And so, yeah, this one is June of '89. And then hippos. from July of '89. Snakes. Now, I did read, I guess originally it might have been always 10 issues a year or 12 issues a year, and then it went down to 10 issues a year. So, it explains how they shed and how they detect food and whatnot. This is from August '89. Zebra, and of course, takes it apart here. And before you ask, I did think about doing a top-down camera, but just like with comic books, I feel like if I show too much, and allow an opportunity to read all this stuff, that there might be a copyright strike. I don't know if Zoobooks is even still in business. This one is from September of '89. And then, of course, camels. You know, I was say it looks like a llama, but that's a camel, apparently. And, yeah, it shows different camels. There are different camels. And how they have an extra eye for sand protection. And there's multiple humped camel. This is from, what is this from? October of '89. Baby Animals. I don't have Baby Animals 1, and it's kind of like a weird sidestep when they can show off so many other types of animals. Because obviously this is cubs and kittens and puppies and so far, and interesting, but I feel like these things could have been saved for the specific issue for the animals. But, I guess not. And of course, at the end of the books, they had puzzles. This one is from November of '89. We got bats. No. Wait, wrong bat. Let's see. Caves. And then, of course, puzzles. Let's see. Yeah, fruit bats, blood, vampire bats, etc. Bats that eat fish. We have bats here. Typically, you'll catch them like later in the night after sunset, and they'll fly around. They'll make a lot of noise because, of course, they're clicking and looking for food, and they eat a lot of the bugs that fly around this area. And we're near the Lake Erie, so there's a lot of opportunity for them to eat. So the Zoobooks has this ostriches, emus, rheas, kiwi, and cassowaries. Cassowaries? Anyway, this Bats book was December of '89, so I have to assume this is the beginning of '90. Yeah, January '90, and bunch of flightless birds. Here's the dodo, this is actually a favorite one of my book because I, for some reason, for a longest time, thought dodos lived into the 1900s. But with recent sightings of suspected dodos, maybe they're still alive, even though they're technically extinct according to this book. But my memory of dodos was they were hunted for food, but then nobody liked how they tasted. And then the other problem was they were annoying as hell because they had no fear of humans. So they were basically hunted to oblivion, or at least, as far as they were concerned back then, because they just wouldn't get out of the way, which is a horrible way to go. And then, of course, they became food for the dogs that the people who found their island, somewhere around Madagascar, I think. So this is chimpanzees and bonobos. And I think bonobos are the ones with the big butts, right? They can't lie? Or no, I don't know. What's it? Big bonobos? Big butts. So this one ends up being February '90. And then that was the last of my original subscription. That was it. This is what my grandma got me. Then we finally get to the... I don't know. I can't remember what I was doing. Let's see. What's the date on this one? Because this will tell me. This was... it says 95, which means I was 17. So anyway... I remember seeing them, and I'd been working for years by that point. I mean, I started working when I was like 10. But, and not in a coal mine. I was sweeping hair for a barber. And I saw this was being offered again, and I jumped on it. So I ended up getting a subscription for a year because I just wanted this one book. And it is my favorite book, and it opens up with, it looks like a brontosaurus. These things have been much renamed. Like, some of these aren't even accurate anymore. So it's just funny that I got a lot of that early science was based on things that were used for Jurassic Park and Jurassic World. And then here is a breakdown of like all the species that we are keenly aware of. As you will notice, nobody has feathers. Not a single feather. So not even a thought in anybody's head at this point. And so yeah, that was pretty nifty. And even shows how birds are the evolutionary end of dinosaurs. My favorite book. Then we finally get to Seabirds. And this is, what we call them, yeah, so basically seagulls and everything around them, even those puffins and stuff. I'm like, do we consider penguins seabirds? But I mean, I guess puffins are seabirds. This is, yeah, some drawing stuff. So you can draw birds. I never did any, I think I didn't do most of these activities. But, yeah, it's just, seabirds. They crap on your car when you're at the lake. Cheetahs. You can't trust them. And basically the same as the lions. I don't know. I mean, because this was like a activity center thing that used to be at the end of the book, which is what I suspect it is. And then it shows how cheetahs are used for racing in India. And then there's a cheetah, very blurry. And yeah, because the end of the book no longer has that activity center, so that must be the replacement. And reminding me to look and see if there is actual. May of '95 is this one. Okay, so this was April '95 for Seabirds. Okay, sharing the world with animals. So that's a bobcat, I believe. It looks like one of the cats that used to be here. And then it just talks about humans' impact on the animal world. We've obviously screwed it up big time. Oh, Joan Embry. Okay, cool. And then here is just like a poster of animal. I don't think I ever ripped out the posters. Although maybe I ripped out the tiger one. Again, you know, it's been a long time. So yeah, and I don't even know. Like, you give you this postcard here. Like, is it even active? Like, it's at this point in 1996, it is $21 for 12 issues. Magazines right now that I pay for are $20 for 12 issues. So like we're talking 84-page Game Informer is $20 for 12. Well, I guess 10 issues now. And then Zoobooks is $21, and it's like 15 pages. So I don't understand the math there. Maybe we're paying the researchers. Who knows? Okay, so Old World Monkeys. Ooh, this book is a little bit damaged. I'm a little sad about it. It just shows other monkeys that we haven't seen before. Although I guess the last one was kind of apes, huh? Well, there's a lot more activities in it. And yeah, just hiding in the trees. That one is from July of '95. Yeah, July '95. Sea Otters. It's like, this is a book. The sea otter. It's like a book you could also have like beavers and stuff in it, aquatic mammals. So it's just showing. I think this book is solely for the cute, for the reason of cuteness. This is why this book exists. There's two different ones doing the same thing, because they float on their back when they eat. It says, sleepy sea otters bundle themselves up in kelp so they don't float away and wake up in a different location. So that kelp is attached to the ground in the waters, what that is. And conservation. Although apparently it says Russians and other hunters took sea otters first for trades. Ugh. And then here's one eating some crab. Alright. Alligators and crocodiles. There is a difference. So, and it makes sense that they're both here. And we can see. So here is a crocodile. It's the one with this type of snout. And wider snout's alligator. And a churial? That's the thin-nosed one, I guess. The easiest way to tell the three groups apart is look at their heads. Crocodiles usually have long triangle-shaped heads. Alligators have wide, flat heads with broad, round noses. And gharials are the oddest-looking crocodiles of all. They have such a long, thin jaw that their snouts look like handles of a frying pan. Okay, that kind of makes sense, yeah. And then we continue on. We see a whole bunch of different types here. And skipping the activities. Somebody's looking. Oh. Yeah, that's see, the one thing was like gruesome pictures. This is blood going on here. This is a children's magazine. But yeah, that where is this one from? Ugly brown and black color again. Like, who makes up these decisions? Ugh. September '95. Night animals. Feel like probably could have been covered with bats, but whatever. And then it's showing how different animals acclimate to the night, such as a raccoon. And then explaining how the whiskers on cats are basically like hands, so they can feel where they're going in the dark. And if something bends their whiskers, it's probably not safe for them to go into, type of situation. But then shows a bunch of different animals. And then here we got a flying squirrel, I think. I think it's a flying squirrel. Tell me in the comments if that's a flying squirrel. Oh, yeah, it is. It says right here, Southern Flying Squirrel. So don't have to tell me in the comments. I found it on myself. That's October 95. Parrots. Wow. Okay, yeah, because there's a movie called Migration. But there is a better movie called Rio. And that one's more about parrots. But Migration, also, if you like birds, that was a good movie. I just watched it recently. And then, of course, Rio is a decent movie. I haven't seen Rio 2. Don't spoil it for me. But, yeah. I'm familiar with parakeets. Because my aunt used to keep one, but it was green. And so that's November of 95. If I said 93 before, I meant 95. Gorillas. Here we go. And they are located in Africa and a little bit of the... There's lowland, western, eastern lowland, and then mountain gorillas. And it shows the differences here. And some faces and teeth and what the babies look like. We'll skip the activities. Yeah. And of course that one is from December of 95. You got rhinos. It's like rhinos and hippos should have been together, but oh well. I mean, I guess how much material they had on these things, like determine how many animals are in the magazine. But reminds me, was that a hippo? No, it was a rhino. It was Ace Ventura, When Nature Calls. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about if you've seen it. But that was January of 96. And orangutans. And basically showing how they travel, what they eat. Oh, let's skip the activities. Dr. Zaius, Dr. Zaius. Oh, Dr. Zaius. Okay, and also a very old reference. And February 96. And then finally, hummingbirds. And let's see what we got here. So it looks like they were trying to incorporate it into like a school thing. I don't think my school ever did any Zoobook stuff. Unless, no, yeah, I mean, no. I don't remember school ever doing Zoobook stuff. I do remember taking my books into school and my teacher saying that was cool story bro, basically, but, you know, for the 1980s. And, yeah. We have hummingbirds here. We have two rose bushes they love to partake upon. But, yeah. So, I mean, that is really it. It's just, I really enjoyed these when I was little. Sure, the Ninja Turtles comics and the Looney Tunes, I joined much more. And then, of course, highlights when I was little was fine because it was helping me learn how to read and write. But yeah, Zoobooks was peak for me, especially the Dinosaurs issue, back in the late 80s, early 90s.
Tell me in the comments your thoughts on this video. Did you like what you saw, and how was your experience with it? Thanks for watching, and please remember to like and subscribe.